Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. I've got a couple of loose cannons from the PIC Steelers with me. Liam Daniela, halfback for the PIC Steelers, and first five, Riley Hohepa. The two boys, good mates, known as the 9-10 crew. They play together the club footy at Patamahoe these days. Thanks for joining us, fellas. We'll start with you, Riley. Where did the 9-10 crew concept sort of, we obviously references the playing jersey numbers that you both wear, but how did it sort of catch on, you two being known as the 9-10 crew?
Well, it's a funny old story. It was actually last lockdown, 2020 level. I can't remember what level we're in, but we were in the same training bubble, and we were sort of talking about starting something, and we didn't really have a name for it. So we were just trying to think of names, and we were like, let's just start with 910 and let's just see how that goes. And then we just sort of just used that, and then we just keep saying it. We made logos and stuff with the 910 in it, and then we just sort of carried. We were just like to each other, should we just keep it at that? Like, is that us? And then it sort of resembled us as well, and what we wanted to try and do. And it has a few meanings behind it, so it's it's good, and I think it's a good attachment to us, to our footy side as well.
Absolutely. Liam, go back to when you guys first met. What's your earliest sort of memory of coming across Riley as presumably a young footy player somewhere?
I think my earliest memory of Riley is probably versing him at primary school, and he was playing for St. Joseph's, and I was playing for Valley and for Valley School, and every time we met, we were the sort of the top of the table. I don't know if it was a table, but we were the two best teams in our competition, in our school competition, and that was probably my first memory of Riley. And he was the gun player for that team, and I was just a normal bloke on the team.
No, you weren't.
But yeah, we used to have hot encounters back then, and I suppose I recognised that. I don't know, that he was gifted at a young age when we used to play then as well. So that was my first sort of earliest memories of Riley.
Riley, what's that relationship been like as you guys have come through the grades? Because obviously for a long time you were club rivals. Liam was at Bombay, and the dynasty that club has enjoyed over the last 10 years or so, winning, I think it was at 5 McNamara Cups out of 6 years. You playing for Patamahoe and being, arch rivals with them, but a good, healthy relationship. Just tell us about that rivalry over the years.
For anyone that knows us, me and Liam are pretty. We're real close, but we're real close probably on and off the field as well. Just in that space, like if we're doing it, like I say, a Bronco or fitness test, or we're in the gym together, it's neck and neck, and it's me and him. Like he's trying to beat me, and then I'm trying to beat him, and that's just the way we've pushed each other probably for the last, I don't know, since we've sort of come out of high school. That's just the way it's been. And I guess when it comes to that stuff, he brings the best out of me, and I bring the best out of him. It's just that competitiveness and that nature that we have between our friendship and our relationship. It's that's one thing that I treasure that we have. And it just pushes us both as individuals.
Liam, when did you guys first sort of start hanging out together, I guess, as mates? When did the relationship sort of go from being, combatants on a footy field that recognised each other to being, blokes that hang out and enjoy each other's company?
I suppose I can remember sort of after primary school, we then went to, during primary school. I went to Puke Intermediate, and he was still at St. Joseph's, and we ended up playing together under Christine Montagna at junior Puke grades. And I can remember hanging out with Riley earlier then, but it wasn't as tight as it was probably until we got to high school, and we were at the same school, and we sort of, just clicked straight away. And then we were just, I suppose that's where our relationship grew the most.
Yeah. Riley, I'll get you to answer this question. Liam was sort of nominated as the best sledger as in a poll of club coaches. And I think, in all fairness, it was done with respect. Everyone acknowledged how good Liam was at it. No one said he was a dick. What's it sort of like being on, I guess, the receiving end, presumably, and then now this year playing alongside him and seeing the art that he's created in that space?
Yeah, it's always whenever we were going to play Bombay, I already knew that Liam was a talker, but he had the actions to back it up. So that's something that that people probably take a little bit for granted is they can talk a lot, but they can't back it up. So Liam's he'll chat for the whole 80 minutes. If you're playing 100 minutes, he'll be chatting. But yeah, me and him used to have some good battles. We used to have share a few words every now and then, but it was all love at the end of the day. It's what's happened inside those lines on the field. It comes from a competitive nature. That's what it comes from. But from this year being on my team, I don't know, having both of us sort of being as fit as we are and competitive as we are, I don't know, teams probably wouldn't like playing us this year.
Liam, badge of honour, mate, to be recognised on that, because as I say, like the comments, it wasn't just a recognition that you were good at it. It was recognition that you're a good bloke too, but you're very good at getting under the skin of the opposition on the field. Is that sort of a badge of honour for you?
I suppose it's a comment that you sort of like, you look at it, you're like, oh, geez. But then when you say you're not a dick, and you don't intend to be a dick, I suppose it is you do take a bit of pride in it, I suppose. But yeah, nah.
Guys, you're so close this year with Patamahoe, had a really good year, built through the season, got to the semi-finals and led for, I think, 75 minutes of the semi-final against Dartmoor Marist, and they ended up chasing you down in the last few moments of the game. Riley, does that sort of leave a burning desire, I guess, to come back and try and take that extra step, given how close you were?
Absolutely. Like for me, I've never won a McNamara Cup, so that desire for me is always going to be there until I win one, and then the desire will probably carry on to try and grab another. Liam's obviously had 5. He was coming into Paddy looking for 6. Tom Brady sort of thing, but he obviously didn't get there. But our whole team, they have that desire as well. It seems like that at the moment. So all the boys want to come back and jump back on board, and hopefully we sort of can keep that same those same people in that same group and press on one more game.
Guys, you've started a bit of a podcast, the 910 Crew podcast. We've seen, I think, 1 or 2 episodes so far, and I think you've got some ambitions to take it to another level. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that? Liam, we'll start with you. Just tell us a little bit about this idea of a podcast and, I guess, your social media activity as well.
Of me?
Yeah, mate. Yep.
Right. Yeah, so we started after starting the 910 Crew. Podcasting was always something that we wanted to get into. We were sort of aiming to get into podcasting, and basically we wanted to try and impact our community around us as well, because I feel like we have through stories and through inspiring people that are around us that we probably never not exposed to, but and so far it's just sort of chipping away, and it's going good.
Mate, I think it's a fascinating idea, and I think it'll be really popular. Hearing from current players, talking about issues of the game and around the periphery of the game, and that. Like, I think it'll be something that fans and supporters, certainly in this region, are going to jump behind. So keep up with it, guys. I think it'd be really cool. You both have had sort of big years, last 12 months or so for different reasons. As I guess you get to a stage in life where you start taking those next steps. Riley, you got married in the last 12 months, and Liam's become a dad. Just tell us a little bit about that experience for you, Riley, and how you balance, I guess, home life, work life, and footy life as well.
Getting married is probably one of the best days of your life. I know it sounds so cliche, but it actually is, and it was one of the best days of my life. And I always think back to that day and just think it was a day full of love and happiness, and it was just amazing. And balancing that is it's all good. Like, when you've got a supportive partner, like I do, like I've got a supportive wife, and she's always pushing me and telling me, just keep going with all my footy stuff and the 19 stuff, and she's always there to give me a hand. So I've been finding it good. It's just a little bit time poor sometimes, but I don't try not to use that as an excuse. I try to keep pressing on and moving forward.
And Liam, you obviously, as I say, becoming a dad in the last 12 months or so, again, how that's sort of impacted your life and that balance between working and playing sport.
I suppose when found out that Bailey was pregnant and we were going to have a kid, I knew that straight away that there was going to be a balance of time that was going to have to happen. So I sort of embraced that as Makai was born. And Bailey I'm lucky enough with Bailey that she's supportive of my rugby and my endeavours with 19. And so she sort of helps me balance out that act. But it has come with its own fair share of challenges, but also its fair share of rewards as well, being a father.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, look, we'll stop it there. We could do this for an hour, I reckon. But we look forward to seeing you a bit more of the podcast in the coming months. Hope lockdown treats you well, and yeah, let's hope we see you both back on the field in the not too distant future.
Beauty. Cheers, Budgie.